The way to get started is to stop talking and begin doing. Walt Disney. The Walt Disney Company is a leader in entertainment innovation and business while continuing to be philanthropic. In the next few minutes, we will be explaining why the Walt Disney Company is an innovative leader in the entertainment and business world, and the creation of Walt Disney as a company and how they give back to the world. I want to start by taking you back to the beginning. It all started in 1927 when Walt Disney created not Mickey Mouse, but Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. However, disaster struck when Oswald was stolen by the then business partner Charles Mintz, who was a distributor for Universal. Then a year later, and in financial ruin, Walt was on a cross-country train ride with his wife Lillian and daughter back to Hollywood, when he came up with the idea and started to sketch the notorious mouse. Lillian was the one who actually came up with the name, Mickey, and Ib Iwerks was the artist to perfect his image that we all know and love today. Walt was the original voice of Mickey Mouse for several years. In 2006, Disney acquired Oswald back from Universal by trading a sports newscaster from ABC, owned by Disney, to NBC, owned by Universal. Disneyland, created because Walt Disney was a place where children and parents could both have fun in a clean and safe environment. Walt came up with this idea after taking his daughter to a theme park, where he noticed how bored the parents were and how dirty everything was. He started planning in the early 1950s. Location was very important. He wanted it to be in LA County. The land was found originally as an orange grove. They started construction in 1954. It cost a total of $17 million. Opening day was July 17, 1955. That day, by definition, was a disaster. People made counterfeit tickets, so there were too many people and not enough food. It was an incredibly hot day. Women's high heels sunk into the asphalt. The Mark Twain boat almost capsized from too many passengers, and there was a gas leak in Fantasyland that forced that part of the park to be closed. There was only 8 rides, so some were Jungle Cruise, Autopia, Carousel, and the Teacups. Walt Disney was extremely patriotic. During World War II, he was approached by the U.S. government to make propaganda films, anti-Nazi films, that would be played before movies in theaters. He also made short films for the U.S. Treasury Department to remind people to pay their property taxes because it helped war efforts. These films went on to win Academy Awards. To this day, Walt Disney has the most nominations and wins from the Academy Awards, with 59 nominations and 22 wins. Walt even helped make the Academy Award figurine's nickname famous by using his name in an acceptance speech, being the first person to refer to the statue as Oscar. Now that you know about the history of Walt Disney Company, let me tell you about how they have and continue to innovate. The Walt Disney Company has and continues to be an innovative leader in the entertainment industry. They have created switchback lines, which are lines that zigzag instead of just straight. These lines are not only used in Disney parks, but in banks and airports. This creation helps condense long lines with many people in a small space. Disney also created the first indoor mall, Main Street USA. All the shops are connected so people don't have to go outside in the poor weather. This was then adapted into what we all now think of as inside malls. Of course, Disney had many innovations. In the entertainment world, first fully enclosed and in-the-dark attraction was It's a Small World. Disney also had the movie Flowers and Trees in 1932, which was the first full-color cartoon and won an Academy Award in the newly category for cartoons. In 1963, Disneyland Tiki Room was the first to use audio animatronics, and in 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first feature-length animation film, which also won an Academy Award. Walt Disney Company created many ingenious things. Now let's look at the business side that made those innovations come to life.
Disney took a massive risk producing the world's first feature-length animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, in 1937, which required a then enormous $1.499 million production budget. Skeptics even called the project Disney's folly before it ever hit theaters. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs obviously turned out to be a huge success, grossing $66 million even during the Depression. Today, Snow White's inflation-adjusted box office total of $885 million ranks it as the 10th highest-grossing domestic film of all time. There's an interview of Walt Disney promoting Snow White the night before its release. A story I loved from the video was the cost of Snow White's wardrobe. Walt said, "Snow White was a costly young lady to clothe. We figure her costumes cost about $100,000. The radio host then asked Walt, "How do you figure that when it was just made from paint and brushes?" Walt says, "But it's true. Even though she wears only 2 dresses, both are drawings. You take the salary of the artists, the animators, hundreds of them, cost of the paint colors, photography, and Technicolor, and little Snow White's 2 dresses add up to $100,000. The Walt Disney Company, together with its subsidiaries and affiliates, is a leading diversified international family entertainment and media enterprise with 5 business segments: media networks, parks and resorts, studio entertainment, consumer products, and interactive. Their media networks not only include Disney channels, but also the ABC network, an 80% stake in ESPN, 50% stakes in A&E, the History Channel, Lifetime, the Biography Channel, and Hulu. There are Disney parks in 6 different cities around the world: Shanghai, Hong Kong, Paris, Tokyo, Orlando, and LA. With the 11 different parks, 47 resorts, and Disney has 4 cruise ships for their Disney Cruise Line. Over the years, they have acquired Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilms, Touchstone, DreamWorks. Walt Disney has their own record company, Hollywood Records, Disney on Broadway, Disney Live, and Disney on Ice. Disney was a trailblazer in merchandising. Merchandise could become an effective tool to promote Disney's movies and TV shows. Today, this ranges from toys and apparel to books and fine arts. The licensing business is aligned around 5 strategic brand priorities: Disney Media, Classics and Entertainment, Disney Pixar and Animation, Studios, Disney Princess, Disney Fairies, Lucasfilms, and Marvel. They have more than 350 retail stores. Disney Interactive, one of the world's largest creators of high-quality interactive entertainment across all current and emerging digital media. These include their mobile and console games, online virtual worlds, and #1 ranked web destinations, Disney.com. Disney himself, the icon of American ingenuity, was oddly enough in financial crisis through most of his career. You'd think that he would have been a business genius, a model for others to study from, but he was in fact an atrocious businessman who was constantly running his business into the ground, and at the same time he was a corporate visionary whose aversion to typical business practices led to the colossus that the Walt Disney Company became. And the Walt Disney Company aspires to be the most admired company in the world. Disney builds their philanthropic legacy with programs that share their resources and talents to make lasting positive change in communities and promote the happiness and well-being of kids and families. They have a Give a Day, Get a Day. In 2010, Disney did a special promotion that allowed a guest to redeem a free ticket in exchange for proof of community service. Because they received so many funding requests, they have specific guidelines. These are meant to assist organizations in understanding the company's charitable priorities. 1, compassion. Disney seeks to bring happiness and hope, laughter to kids and families in need around the world. Their fundings include children's hospitals, Disney Wishes, disaster preparedness and relief, military families, and healthy kids. Conservation. Disney seeks to conserve nature for future generations, help kids develop lifelong conservation values through nature exploration. The funding includes protecting the planet, supporting grassroots conservation, connecting kids to nature, and emergency funding. Creativity. Disney seeks to harness the power of creativity and imagination to improve the lives of kids in the communities they live in and allow them to create the future that they imagine. The funding includes imagination, storytelling, play, and thought leadership. All these qualities combined make Disney the incredible company it is today. The Walt Disney Company is a leader in entertainment, innovation, and business while continuing to be philanthropic. For more than 9 decades, the Walt Disney Company has been a household name that continues to innovate the business world, all while being one of the most generous corporations. In the great words of the Walt Disney himself, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them.